Thanks for being here.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam Chair. Thanks to Senator Lee for calling this hearing. Thanks to the witnesses. Professor Newman, let me ask you just a question or two about Amazon. You're aware of Amazon's use of independent contractors, I bet. Is that fair to say?
Yes, that's fair.
Amazon calls their delivery service partner program, or they should say they call their independent contractors their delivery service partner program, or DSPs. Does that sound? Are you familiar with this, broadly speaking?
Yes.
So these, as I understand it, this delivery service program employs about 300,000 people, and according to Amazon, none of these 300,000 people, their delivery service partners, so-called, actually work for Amazon, which is convenient because in reality, Amazon exercises enormous control over these delivery service partners. They control their contracts. They control every aspect of their business. They tell these partners, these independent contractors, which vendors to use, which routes to follow, you name it. They even monitor the performance of individual drivers. And in some cases, Amazon, unilaterally fire the driver. So my question is, does that really sound like, and your understanding of the law, does that really sound like a classic independent contractor? If the parent company is exercising that degree of control over the vendors, over the individual drivers, does that sound like a truly independent relationship to you?
Well, not being a labor law expert, I'll give you my antitrust opinion. That
Good.
does not sound like a traditional relationship. No.
Yeah, it doesn't sound like it to me either, but it does sound convenient for Amazon in a couple of respects. I mean, first, it means that if these are all independent contractors, they don't, legally speaking, they don't work for Amazon, then that means that they can't organize for work and working conditions and better wages. Is that right?
I think that's right.
Yeah. So it's a great setup for Amazon. It's less clear to me why it's such a great setup for their non-employees, but the folks who aren't technically Amazon employees, but yet just happen to work every single waking hour just about for the company. Does anybody else want to weigh in on this, Ms. Cooley? Do you have any views?
I'm similarly not a labor lawyer, but yes, I can see why that would be concerning.
Don't you think that it also gives Amazon an advantage over other companies like UPS? I mean, UPS employs their drivers. They have to be responsive to their drivers. They have to negotiate with them. By treating them as so-called independent contractors, Amazon doesn't have to do any of that for any of their drivers, right? I mean,
So certainly having vertical integration can have anti-competitive effects.
Let me ask you, while I've got you all here, just on a different subject, just on the subject of healthcare for a second, and pharmacy benefit managers, and speaking about vertical integration. Why is it that insurance companies, why should health insurance companies be able to buy up the PBMs and also buy up the pharmacies, so that the PBM, as I understand it, is supposed to negotiate with the insurer and with the pharmaceutical companies in order to get better prices? But if the insurance company owns the PBM and they own the pharmacies, and in some cases they own the doctor's practices, I mean, who's really benefiting? Is that a good thing for patients? Do any of you think? I mean, is that degree of vertical integration, is that a positive thing?
No, it's definitely not. I mean, I welcome the recent investigation litigation against PBMs. We need more such investigations about their misconduct. I don't think that the price negotiations are even genuine. You think about all of the people that are uninsured and the price that they're supposed to pay, and then the price that is quote unquote negotiated is basically I wouldn't say fraudulent, but basically not truly a representative of what the two prices are.
Yeah, thank you for that, Professor Alford. I mean, that states my concerns very aptly. And it just seems to me that from a competition standpoint, if we are allowing this degree of integration in the healthcare market, if the insurance companies can own the PBMs, can own the pharmacies, can own the doctor's practices, in some cases now can own the hospitals, I mean, the only person who seems to benefit from that arrangement is the insurer. It's the vertical integrator. The people who really seem to lose out are the patients, who no longer have any meaningful choice anywhere. There are no cost savings passed on to them because one entity owns all of it, owns the entire chain. And I think we're seeing more and more of that in American healthcare. And this is why, as recent reports have indicated, not only is healthcare more expensive than ever in this country, year on year, health insurance, I mean, it's just totally unaffordable, but access to care is actually declining. So the services provided are getting worse. And you can talk to doctors, you can talk to independent pharmacists, they hate it and they feel squeezed. And it seems to me the only people who are really doing great in this are the big time insurance companies and the PBMs that they own.
I mean,
you want to add something, Professor Grant?
It is useful that there's been recent legislation that has basically removed the insurance immunity from antitrust laws. And so now all of a sudden we're seeing the repercussions of that, and we should see more investigations against insurance companies, including health insurance.
Yeah, that's terrific. And I'd like to go further. I've introduced bipartisan legislation with Senator Warren that would prevent this sort of vertical integration by insurers, PBMs, pharmacies. I think we've just got to